Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome to yet again another video for our Chevening scholarship series. In this video, we are going to be talking about how you can calculate your work experience for the Chevening scholarship. Now, having the right amount of work experience for the Chevening scholarship is a crucial step for you to be accepted. If you don't have the right amount of work experience for the Chevening scholarship, I'm sorry to say you will become ineligible and you'll be rejected. So let's get into this video and discuss what is the requirement for the Chevening scholarship work experience for all applicants. Chevening requires you to have a minimum of 2 years work experience and 2,800 working hours. Now, that sounds a lot, but in reality, if you look at it, it is not that much. All you need to have is 2 years of work experience and a minimum of 2,800 working hours. Before we go into this, what kind of work does Chevening consider as work experience? Now, the scholarship has made it really easy. It can be full-time employment, part-time employment, it can be voluntary employment, it can be internship, whether the internship is paid or non-paid, as long as it is a work experience that you can justify and that you have, then you are fit to go. You just need to put all of these work experiences to make sure that they are up to at least 2 years of work experience and they amount to 2,800 hours of work time for you to qualify for the scholarship. Another interesting thing that candidates always ask me is that when are you supposed to have this work experience? You can have this work experience before, during, or after your undergrad program, or it just doesn't matter to Chevening as long as you have a work experience that can make up to 2 years and 2,800 hours of work. In my case, for instance, I had started doing voluntary service right at the age of 16 back in 2004, and so I had amassed a lot of work experience and working hours before I applied for the Chevening scholarship. So I just added some of them. I chose some of the ones that were relevant for the program that I wanted to study for my Chevening scholarship, and those are the ones that I did put in my application. I did not put everything because if I did, then it will be a lot. So how do you go about knowing your work hours? I know that it can be confusing, but what you actually need to know is this. An average person will work for 35 to 60 hours in 1 week, and an average person will work for about 40 to 50 weeks in 1 year. So that is the basis upon which you should be calculating your work hours. If you are doing a voluntary service, a part-time, full-time, an internship program, look into your contracts. How many hours are you supposed to work in a day? Take, for instance, I normally, for my full-time job, I was working about 8 hours in a day. So multiply the 8 hours times 5 days in a week, work week, because normally I wasn't working during the weekend for this particular job. So I worked from Monday to Fridays and for 8 hours. So how do you calculate the number of hours that you have worked? It's very simple. It depends on the job that you are going to put in your application. That job is going to determine how long you have worked and how to calculate. So the basic thing to do is, for instance, if you worked in one job for, say, 6 months, let's just assume that you work for 6 months, and an average of 8 hours a day, you just simply need to calculate the 8 hours a day that you work by 1 week. It's going to give you the total number of work hours that you have done for that week, and then you multiply it by the 6 months, which is the period during which you worked for that particular job. And then you take the next job experience, you multiply the same time, the hours that you work, to the duration that you worked during the time that you had that job, and that's very simple. You are going to have your total number of hours that you have worked. And for someone that has done about 2, 3, 4 jobs, It doesn't matter if it's a voluntary service, like I said before, full-time, part-time, internship. If you have long list of experience, you are going to realize that 2,800 is not really that much. I remember quite clearly in my time that I had surpassed the 2,800. I was above that, depending on the jobs that I put, because my work experience, I didn't put everything like I mentioned before. I simply included the experiences that were important for me. Another example is this. Just imagine that there's someone that has done one internship program for 3 months, one voluntary program for say 9 months, and another full-time employment for a year. That person has already worked for 2 years. For 3 different work experiences, and that person now just has to try as much as possible to calculate the number of hours that they've worked. If they worked an average of 8 hours a day, say you go to the office at 8 a.m. in the morning and come back at 5 p.m. in the evening, that's roughly 8 hours a day. You just need to multiply that by the number of weeks that you work, the 8 hours by 1 week, which is going to give you, if you work from Monday to Friday, it's going to give you around 35 to 40 hours in a week. And then you multiply that by 1 month, and then you multiply by 3 months, or by 6 months, or by 9 months, and you are going to have the total number of hours that you have worked for that particular job. The easiest way to know this is to maybe check your employment letter, where it is stated when you come to work and when you return. Or maybe if you're confused, check the attendance form. There are some companies or offices or workplaces that have attendance forms where you can check them every month, and that makes it quite easy for you. Now, another issue is that does Chevening ask you to present pay slips? I have hardly heard anyone say that. They are not going to ask you, but I strongly advise that you fill your application with honesty, have some integrity, and tell the truth. It's important for you to tell the truth, because just imagine that they happen to investigate your claims and they don't match, and then you're going to be kicked out of the scholarship process. So just tell the truth, and when you're going for your interview, just go with your pay slips and other work documents. You never know, you might be one of the people that gets to be asked the question, and then you don't want to be stranded. So that's something important that you need to consider as well. There are also people who ask me from time to time, Delphine, what if I don't have up to 2 years of work experience and up to 2,800 hours of work? I would just advise that if you don't have the required number of hours that Chevening wants, or the years of experience, my advice for you genuinely would be that just don't apply this year. Go back and gain some experience, especially because you're not supposed to get them only from paid employment or full-time employment. You can get them from voluntary services and all of that. So if that is the case, go back and get some experience. Go for a voluntary service, or because you know that you're doing this just so that you gain the necessary experience that you need to move from one stage to another. So just take a year, go back, build on yourself, work on yourself, and then come back stronger. That is the advice that I would honestly give anyone, and even myself. I have been in a situation like that where I had an opportunity to study and it didn't really work out because of 1 or 2 reasons. I decided to take a year off. I worked for that 1 year and I came back stronger, and that is even when I decided not to apply for that opportunity but to apply instead for the Chevening scholarship. So I am a believer of the fact that you should, if you don't have the right experience, go back and get it, so that when you come back, you will be stronger, you will be better, and you will present a better application to the Chevening board. Guys, I hope that you did enjoy this video. I have more videos coming on my Chevening scholarship season. Remember, I promised you guys that throughout this season, I'm going to make sure that I share everything that there is to share about the Chevening scholarship. So keep your questions coming, keep your comments coming. For those who have already sent me their applications. I'm going to start my first round of review this week, and today I will review some applications and send them out to the applicants. If you are still watching until this moment, then you clearly think that this video is interesting. Please don't forget to subscribe, to like, share, comment on this video, especially because this will help me to know if these are the kind of videos that you like to watch on my channel. Until we meet again, guys, don't you forget to create some impact. Bye.